Hello, my name is Moritha. For those who do not know me, I'm Moritha Ibudeng, and I'm here to talk about a novel by Ifeanyi Ajaegbo, Sarah House. I'm going to apologize for the fact that I haven't done what I said I was going to do in my introductory video. A series of events haven't been so pleasant, they haven't fallen in place like I planned for them to fall, and I'm sorry. I don't want to emphasize on it. I'm just going to go straight to the book so I don't take all of your time. I want this to be as quick as possible so you can get all of it. Our book is Sarah House by Ifeanyi Ajaegbo. I've put down an analysis. After reading the book, I went on the internet to learn more about the author and look at other analysis and, just increase my knowledge. And yes, this video is straight up, I'm doing this myself and I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to put it up right away. And I know I'm going to make mistakes. I ask that you understand and you know what, we're humans, we're all prone to mistakes, so but the thing is that if you feel the need to correct me at any point, I'd appreciate it. You can hit me up and, correct me. I mean, the only people that stop getting knowledge are those that die. So I'm very, very open to corrections. So straight to the book. Sarah House is a book that unveils the numerous crimes happening in the creep of darkness. The novel by Ifeanyi Ajaegbo brings to light what happens in the veiled and shrouded parts of Nigeria, where young rural girls are lured by false promises of jobs and a better life to the big cities. When they arrive in these big cities, reality unfolds and shock paves their mind when they are forced to become prostitutes. In this dark and dangerous world, no one is safe. Even little children and homeless adults are killed and have their organs sold to the highest bidder. It gets worse because these victims have no one to really trust or get help from. The police are involved in this sex trade and organ transplant because they collect bribes from the madams and pimps. In essence, the law is infiltrated by the obscene trade and can no longer help the poor and innocent. Nita, the female protagonist of this novel, to me, is a graceful and lucky one. She's a survivor. So Nita is she's part of the girls that fell into the trap of all these boys that would lure you, deceive you, and take you to somewhere that you don't meant to be, somewhere not right. So yeah, she's an Opobo girl from River State. She used to school in Bori. So Slim was a boyfriend, used to date and all that stuff. Every time Slim would promise her better life in the city, this one, that one, I'll take you there, I'll give you everything you want, you get a good job. And she's enticed by this. What's left for her in Opobo? Please, I have to go to the city. And I'm sure that's what she was feeling. Okay. And then she agrees to go to the city with Slim. And when she gets into the taxi, the next thing she sees is herself in a room, a dark, gloomy room with scantily dressed young girls like her, and she's bewildered. She can't understand what she's doing here. She's asking everyone what's happening here. Why are we here? Nobody can tell her. They are all scared and silent. It even gets worse when Fatty, like literally, he's fat, he's big. I think that's why they call him Fatty. When Fatty enters the room to give her food, the atmosphere really changes and everybody's so scared they can't even really. At first, Tiger was talking to her, trying to explain some things to her, but now it becomes really, really cold and tense. And Nita is trying to be stubborn and strong-headed, and she's like, she won't eat this one, that one, and they warn her, girl, you better eat too. You better eat because Fatty is very dangerous. All she notices is the fact that Fatty keeps coming and collects the girls. They'll dress up even in much more scanty clothes, and he will say they're going to work, and she wouldn't understand. Girl, this is Tanita. How wouldn't you understand? You're seeing them in a dark, shrouded room, and they're scared, and there's this man locking them up, and they're dressing up in that kind of way, and you don't understand what they're doing, and they're just saying they're going out and saying they're going to do work. You don't understand the kind of work. I was very disappointed in Nita. I mean, seriously, how wouldn't she know? Well, you can't blame her. She's been in the village, so maybe she doesn't really know the operations that operations like this take place. So Nita is taken away from that room to another room by Slim. His name is not even is very unapologetic. This is his job. The other girls even said the same thing, that was how he lured them. He was their boyfriend, and then he brought them there. So he doesn't care. When Lita was being stubborn, he slapped her and told her, you know what, you have to do this. You have no choice. Everybody does it, and because you are being stubborn, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to give you an eye opener. So he sends this grotesque looking guy, scar-faced man, to come into the room. This man rapes her, and this rape signifies the fact that she's getting used to strangers. That's how they make people get used to strangers. So this is what Nita goes through in the house. Later on, over time, she begins to go out with the girls, and she sees the process of the work. She sees how other females in other bars and clubs are stripping and dancing and enticing men. Mind you, all of this is happening in Port Harcourt. Yes, that's the setting of the story. So her beauty captivates another pimp, a madame, and this madame buys her and Tega to Sarah House. Sarah House is run by madame, and there she captivates the heart of Chief. Chief wants her to be her girl. Sorry, oh my god, Chief wants her to be his girl. I can't believe I just said that. Please pardon me. Chief wants her to be his girl, and madame is, of course, pleased by this because it means more money and business for her. And then so many strange things happen in this Sarah house. There's this guy Ludovic. The girls that get to go to Ludovic come back with bruises. They're bleeding, deep cuts. They can't even walk, and it's usual for them that run the house. They send a doctor for the girl, give her some days off, and then she'll resume work. And you have to. The thing is that Ludovic is a porn. He makes porn, so I think, and he's German, he's white. I think he forgets that, like, when it comes to reality, he forgets that he's not making porn, and he's very, very brutal to these girls that descend to him. Even Madame is quite cuckoo too. Madame's girl is Tega, and Tega doesn't come back to the room pleased sometimes. I mean, it's their job, so they're getting used to it. So don't pardon me when I say please. She comes back with pains too, because Madame is, I don't know, she has her. Anyways, so Nita, being Chief's girl, has some respect. She has an advantage, an edge over other people. She gets to go to Abuja to see Chief. She boards a plane for the first time in her life. Chief gives her the thrill of her life. He takes her out with his friends, gives her a lot of money, got her a cell phone, got her new clothes, this one, that one. She's staying in one of the biggest hotels in Abuja. She goes on tours. She has a personal driver and bodyguard, like a lot of thrills. But she notices something that was quite strange. Two men walked to the hotel room one time when Chief was there, and they had some conversations, and next thing, Chief is giving them black briefcases with red buttons, and then they leave. She doesn't really ponder on it, but yes. And Chief offers her to come and stay with him. Like, she should leave Sarah's house and he'll take care of her. Of course, Madame had already begged that, please don't go. I know Chief will give you this offer, but don't go. I want you to take Stella's place. Stella is Madame's personal assistant, or was Madame's personal assistant. She died suddenly, and nobody even knew why she died. Nobody even cared that she died. Madame immediately wanted to replace her with Nita. So because of Madame's plea, Nita rejects the offer, but agrees to still be Chief's girl. The funny thing about Chief and Nita is that they don't really have sexual intercourse. Chief would just want her to walk like a model, take off her clothes slowly, then walk around the room naked, and then he'll start funneling himself, and afterwards he'll try to come and sit down beside him so that he can keep funneling himself, and then support around her whereby everything was splashed all over her. I don't understand that, but yes, that was that. I feel like she was lucky because other girls were getting whipped by Madame and Ludovic in a very, very obscene manner, and she just had to walk naked. I mean, seriously. Yeah. That's why I keep saying that Nita was, and she was getting a lot of money from Chief, wads of notes. So yeah. While Nita is still in Port Harcourt, before she goes to Abuja, there's this detective that she meets with Mofe. She's begging Nita to testify against Madame Slim and Fatty because yes, they are pimps and they want to bring justice, but Nita doesn't trust Mofe. As earlier said, and while I was reading, you can't really trust the police because the pimps and Madame have the police on their under their wings. They pay them off, so you don't really know who to trust. So that's that for that. When Nita returns to Port Harcourt, she finds out that Tega is murdered. Tega has been murdered. She was murdered by Slim and Fatty because she tried to escape. She already escaped, but they found her and murdered her. And then there's yes, in Sarah House, there's also an orphanage. Can you imagine the irony? So yes, in this orphanage, there are kids and they take care of the kids. In fact, the prostitutes join to take care of the kids. They are matrons in the orphanages on that one. But the strange thing is that how do I put it? Now, you know what? There's this girl Damka. Nita is drawn to her. She's a 6-year-old in the orphanage too. So Nita is really drawn to her, and they become friends. And they had an incident in the book where Damka's food poured, and Nita had to share her food with her. This and that one. So, anyways, they become friends. And when Nita returns, on finding out that Tega was murdered, she decided to look for Damka. She doesn't find Damka. She goes into one dark room that she had been forbidden to enter, and when she gets into that room, she finds Damka's clothes drenched in blood. Immediately, she understands what had happened, and then she sees at the corner those briefcases she saw with Chief. Those briefcases Chief handed over to some guys, and then curious Nita goes to open the briefcase, and then she sees organs freezed in ice, hearts, like whoa. And then she understands that that orphanage is being used to the people in the orphanage are the ones that they sell their organs. God, Jesus Christ. It's so scary. I mean, I'm just saying this, but if you read it, you feel what I felt. And prior to this discovery, when Nita found out that Tega was dead, she was scared for her own life. So she decided that she'll call Chief and then she'll go back to Chief. But when she finds this out, when she finds that the briefcases that Chief was handing over to those men, the puzzle is fixed. She understands why Chief is so rich and why the connection between him and Madame is unbreakable. So she's like, okay, the only person I can turn to right now is Mofe. So she calls Mofe, and while she was making the phone call, one of the bodyguards, Stone became fond of Nita because Nita used to give me a lot of money and all that stuff. So Stone sees her and Stone's like, "What are you doing?" And she's so scared, and she kind of tell him that what? Anyways, she told him that I'm trying to blah blah blah. She explains to him, and then he's like, I'm going to let you go. Be careful. I'm only doing this for you because my sister was like you. She went through the same thing like you, and yes, Nita escapes, and that is where the story ends. So I'm even after the story, I'm still going to read out to you. Yeah, Nita, the female protagonist of this novel, to me is a graceful and lucky one. She's a survivor. Like the rest of the girls who come through the same process, Nita is forced into prostitution. When she refuses at first, an eye opener is sent to her to remind her that she has no choice or there's no choice or escape, and she must do exactly what the pimps tell her to do. This eye opener turns out to be a grotesque looking scar-faced man who rapes her so that she can get used to strangers. Nita's beauty becomes her bid as she is bought by a very rich man who is into the business of housing and distributing girls as prostitutes to very rich people as well as managing an orphanage. Upon arrival to Sarah House, Nita steals the heart of a powerful politician and businessman, Chief, who immediately declares that he wants Nita to be his girl. Madame, the owner of Sarah House, is pleased because it means more business and more money for her. For Nita, a better life filled with respect and money spending has evolved. I don't know why I didn't write that here. Besides, Chief never indulges in direct sexual intercourse with her. He only tells her to walk around naked, well, like a model, while he fondles with himself and then tells her to sit beside him so he can spurt all over her. This was a good thing for her as compared to the other girls who had to sleep with customers every night, and some even go through obscene, explicit sexual abuse from customers like Ludovic and Madame herself. As part of the advantages of being Chief's girl, Nita boards a plane for the first time to take her to Abuja for a short stay with Chief. After a while in Abuja, Nita returns to find that her dear friends in Sarah house have been murdered. These friends are Tega, a fellow prostitute brought along Nita by Madame, and Damka, a beautiful 6-year-old, part of the little children occupying the section for orphans in Sarah house. Tega is murdered based on orders given by Madame to Slim and Fatty after she escaped, and Damka is murdered so her organs could be sold to the highest bidder. When Nita enters into the dark room that she has been forbidden from, she finds black briefcases she had seen with Chief while in Abuja. Inside these briefcases, she finds organs iced, ready for sales and transplants. Fix the puzzle. At this point, Nita forgets all the bliss from Abuja and makes a decision that could make her life end like that of Tega. Nita remembers a detective she met, Mofe, one who urged her to testify against the pimps. She calls her and takes a decision to make an escape. This call has just two parts to it. It could put her life in danger, lead to her death, or bring justice to this forsaken place called Sarah House. Through the help of one of the bodyguards, Stone, Nita escapes. And the curtains of the stories. Oh my god, and the curtains of the story are drawn here. That is so relieving to finish reading all of that. So yes, that is it. I have a comment here for this book. Sarah House is a gripping sad story filled with terror, horror, and breathtaking suspense. It points what really happens in the society, draws a vivid image to what goes on behind some huge gates, behind some closed doors, and in the gloom of the dark. The setting of this book. The story is set in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, because it is where a series of major events took place. Other locations mentioned in the book are Abuja, Opobo, and Bori. Opobo and Bori are both in Port Harcourt. Are both in Rivers State, I beg your pardon. The themes of this book are sex slavery, human trafficking and organ transplants, commodification of the female body, lies and deceit, menial regard for the human body and people at large. Okay, so I have a little bit of criticism here for this book. This story is an important one. It opens our eyes to the reality of trade in flesh. We see some of this scantily shad. I hate words that you know how to pronounce them and something just happens, you don't pronounce them right at the point you need to pronounce them right. Just ignore this part. This story is an important one. It opens our eyes to the reality of trade in flesh. We see some of these scantily clad women and we ignore them. And it turns out that some of these women are not there of their own volition, as they were forced from their homes, as they were taken from their homes and forced down this path. The grim life these women have to endure every day is portrayed quite well by the writer. One thing to note is that this brutality is being meted out on these women from their own kind. Someone like Madame, she's doing this to her fellow women. And you know the funny thing? Madame was once a prostitute. She escaped, and that was where Chief found her and gave her Sarah House as his property. And you need to read the book. You get all the information then. I'm very, very sorry for all the mistakes. I'm usually not like this. I think I'm a little bit nervous, being the first time in a long time I'm doing this. Okay. Yes, it is sad that this horrible treatment of our women is not what is heard on the news. We should encourage a more humane treatment of one another and see to the eradication of these obscene acts. However, this book does not come without its flaws. One is that the character development could have been better. I mean, it took me a while to visualize how Nita looked or her age or something like that. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about. The novel doesn't take one deep into an imaginary platform. I could not even imagine the gloomy room. I could not imagine a lot of things because, I don't know. he didn't take me there. He didn't take me there. It's more like, I shouldn't make comparisons. It's a good book, however. So yeah. And then the last is the strong men in the book are all huge behemoths without too much brains. It made it look like all the huge men in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, as far as you're big, you don't really have the brains. You're just big to be a guard and all that stuff, which is not really true. So yeah, that's it. About the author, Ifeanyi Ajaegbo is an award-winning author, winning the 2005 African Region Prize for the Commonwealth Short Story Competition. The poignant writing of Ajaegbo is sure to win many more prizes as it grips you by the throat and captivates your interest at its peak. Yes, so that is the end of this video. That is the end of the analysis of Sarah House. This has been fun. It was quite difficult and intense because I made a lot of mistakes. I am so sorry for it. I promise to be better in the next video. I'm just happy that I'm doing this anyway, and I don't want to cancel it and start all over or try over and over again to edit it all to no avail. So I just want to put this up right now, and I'm hoping you all understand. Thank you so much for watching. Please keep watching. Please support. Please tell your friends to watch. At the end of the day, I'm trying in my own way to help the youth to gain more interest in literature and to, educate people about things that are going on in our society through books that I read. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Bye bye now.